I'll call you Bowles. What's up?
That works. That's what everybody else calls me.
So, are you voting Kamala, or do you think Walz is not stolen valor?
I'm currently voting Kamala. I have not 100% decided, but
so
I'm open.
What would be your number one reason to vote for Kamala?
There's like a couple. So like first off,
what's the number one? Let's address the biggest one.
Okay, so I do like the thing on price gouging.
Well, I mean, why do you like her thing on price gouging?
Mostly just it's not so much the grocery stores. Like I saw your video on I'm sorry, what?
She wanted to institute price gouging controls on the grocery industry.
Yeah.
But you understand that the grocery industry makes less than a 2% margin.
Right. But but price gouging is when someone raises the price on necessities. No,
that's not price gouging. Price gouging is normally accepted as people who make more than a 30% margin on their profits.
I'm sorry, I apologize. That's not what I read when I looked it up.
No, that's price gouging. But here's the worst part, though. There is no true definition of price gouging. So do you think a company making 2% margin is price gouging?
They could be, depending on it's the specific goods, like the markup on.
Hold on. You think a 2% margin is price gouging?
I think you can price gouge and only still make 2%. It just depends on what you're. Like, for example, the markup on water bottles is like 400%.
No. But we're not talking about water companies. We're talking about the grocery store because she wants to attack the grocery industry. Right. You understand that most companies that make water bottles and make a 400% margin take losses in about 50% of their other categories. Like, for example, Nestle. Nestle started making water because they were taking a 4% loss in candy. So they instituted water bottles to make up for that loss.
I actually did not know that.
Yeah, you have to understand most water bottle companies own shitloads of other stuff, and the water profit margin allows them to make up for losses. Like a good example, like a Hershey's bar, for instance. A Hershey's bar loses money. Like if you buy a Hershey's bar, you have kicked Hershey's in the teeth. Like they are losing money because they want to keep it at a price where people actually want to buy it. Now the way they've been able to do that is that they also have a water company that makes them larger margins to make up the margins they lose in chocolate.
Okay, I actually did not know that. Thank you.
So it's a trade-off. It's a really big trade-off. So that's when we look at it as a whole, and we say the grocery industry, the least profitable grocery store in the country, Aldi, makes a 1.6% profit margin. The most profitable, as far as profit margin goes, grocery industry in the country is Whole Foods. They make a 1.92% margin. There's not a single grocery store in the country that makes higher than a 2% margin.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So, it's kind of, I'm sure you've noticed it's kind of hard to find unbiased information about Trump's policies.
Absolutely. No, it's easy. It's very easy. Very easy. Trump's policies, go to Agenda 47.
Okay.
That's
so, out of those, what policies does he have that are going to benefit me?
Well, it depends on what's important to you.
Probably.
What do you do for a living?
I make bearings for boats for the Army Corps of Engineers, actually.
Okay, so you have a president who's hugely supportive of the United States military and wants to continue to fund military contracts. So that benefits you.
Okay.
He's hugely supportive of private industry, which you work for a private company.
Yeah.
So that supports you. He's in favor. How much money do you make a year? You don't have to give me an exact number. Give me a range.
It's probably going to be around 70.
Cool. So Trump's tax policies only raise taxes on people who make more than $400,000 a year. So that benefits you.
Okay.
So let me ask you, what Trump actions or policies do you think negatively affect you?
Nothing that he does is negatively affecting me, which I put him and Kamala kind of on the same tier. I'm mostly I don't care about any of their past stuff.
Well, do you have any investments?
No, not anymore. Not since COVID.
No, I get that, bro. COVID fucking kicked me in the teeth.
Yeah, that was rough.
But before COVID, you had investments, right? You plan on having investments in the future?
Yeah, I would actually like to.
Okay, so those are capital gains. Would you be cool paying 47% tax on them every year?
No, not really. That's a lot.
Kamala.
So I do have a question about that, actually.
Please go ahead.
One more.
So his the 44% thing, like if I were to buy a house, does that 44%, does that affect, like, do I have to pay that tax if I sell the house or just living in the house?
So here's the thing. So technically, just because if people are going to jump in the comments and be like, "Oh, you're lying about this," so technically the tax only applies to people who make more than 100 million, right?
Oh, okay.
But, no, I see. Hold on, wait. Who said it? Gabe. Gabe said the tax only applies if you make more than 100 million. But Gabe, let me tell you this. Find me a tax that was instituted in this country that was not first instituted for rich people and then passed on to poor people. Like a good example is income tax. Income tax was first introduced in, I think, 1917 for only the top 1% had to pay 3% of their income. And now we all pay 28 to 35% of our income in income tax, right? Social Security was supposed to be a tax on the rich. Now we all pay 17% of our income, right? That's how they introduce tax. They go, this is only for rich people. And then about 20 years later, they trickle it down to everyone else. So let's go 20 years in the future. They've instituted the capital gains tax and it's now trickled down to you. And you buy a house for 300 grand, right?
Yeah.
And now the house is worth 500 grand. Well done, right? So you have a $200,000 unrealized gain. Now, what happens is at the end of the tax year, they say, okay, we need a 44% tax on that, which means that is $88,000 that you owe per year, even though you haven't sold the house.
Okay, that's fair. That'd be rough.
That's fucking insane, right?
Yeah,
Because here's the worst part. Say you found a way to pay that $88,000 tax, and next year your house is still worth $500,000. Do you know how much you owe?
Same amount?
Another fucking 88 grand.
Yeah, that would be rough. That would be really rough.
That's where you can't. And here. And you want to know the wildest scenario? Say that first year you find a way to pay the 88 grand tax, right?
Okay.
And then the housing market crashes, and the house you bought for 300 grand is now worth 200 grand. You sell it for 200,000. You lose $100,000. Do you know what happens to that tax money you paid?
Mm-hmm.
The government keeps it.
That's pretty shitty.
So your house was worth $200,000 more. You paid 88 grand, and then you lost $100,000. So now instead of losing 100 grand, you've lost 188,000.
That's valid. Yeah, that's fair. I didn't think about that.
That's why you can't tax unrealized gains.
Well, I do appreciate you.
But here's the thing. Let me tell you right now that if Kamala was smart, here's what she would say. She would say, I'm not going to tax unrealized gains. If you want to punish, because the whole idea is because what rich people do is they have value go up, and then what they do is instead of making money because they don't want to pay taxes on it, they take a loan against the value. And then they spend the loan money and they don't actually have to pay anything. So the way you fix that is you say, you are no longer allowed to loan money based upon unrealized gains. And that eliminates that whole industry. Because now somebody who bought a house, like some rich guy bought a house and it appreciated for $1 million, and then he borrows $1 million, spends it, and doesn't have to pay it back because it was an appreciation. What you say is you can no longer take loans based upon unappreciated gains. So you have to say, hey, if you want a loan for $1 million, you have to show and sell it for $1 million to show the value. And that would be a way to fix that. But they won't do it because it's not about punishing rich people, because rich people are getting them elected. It's about finding a way to extract the most money from the American public while making them think you're punishing rich people.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I do appreciate it.
No, my pleasure, bro.
All right. Thanks, man.
My pleasure, man. Have a great night. Who we got? Yeah, I'm sorry, hands in the way. What's up, Jay Wall?
How's it going?
Well, are you voting for Kamala, or do you think Walz is in stolen valor?
I'm voting for Kamala.
Cool. What's your number one reason?
She cares. She cares about us, and she
So what's your reasoning that she cares?
will rip the shirt off of my back to give it to an illegal immigrant, and we know she loves. She's already DTF, so why not? You know.
Look, here's the thing. You can't vote for her just because she has a Gluck Gluck 3000.
I'm a Trump supporter. That bitch needs.
I support women that suck D, but it doesn't mean I want her to be my president.
Yeah, well, hopefully Harry's watching this. His mom should have swallowed, so.
Oh.
All right. Hopefully Caesar is a real fucking.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Let's give an applause in the chat. That was good. I like that.
He already got applause.
What's up, Caesar?
Hey, what's up? I've been listening in for a little bit. I just want to say I appreciate you being respectful.
Always.
Because I've been watching some of these, and sometimes people get aggressive really quickly.
It gets really mean and fucked up sometimes. But here's the thing: I like having conversation, not debates.
That's kind of where I stand. Also, I do want to say I am a Kamala supporter.
Cool. So what is your number one reason? Like, what's your number one issue to support Kamala?
So if I'm being completely honest, I'm pretty in the middle, but it's mostly just the fact that I don't particularly support Trump.
I totally get that. Here's the thing. I don't have much argument against people who are like, I'm voting Kamala because Trump sucks, right? Like, I don't have much for that. But can I ask you this? What is the number one thing you hate about Trump?
Number one thing I hate about what?
About Trump?
Mainly his rhetoric.
Oh, don't get me wrong. He's an asshole.
He's a bit divisive.
No, he's not divisive. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Trump supporter. He's a fucking asshole. He's a prick. He's a smart ass. He says shit he shouldn't. He's abrasive. He's not friendly. I'm with you, bro. But
also, I want to talk on a few things that you mentioned earlier with some people we were talking about previously. You had mentioned the policy that Trump had passed about transparency from hospitals regarding care, and you said that Biden had paused it.
No. So Biden didn't pause it, but he removed the penalties for not doing it.
He removed the penalties?
Yeah. So what he did was what the original policy said was you have to put it out during a certain time period, and if you didn't, you would be assessed a fee for each month you went without producing it, right? And then Biden removed the financial penalties for that, which means there was no punishment for not doing it, and you ended up with only 15% of hospitals and medical facilities actually producing their prices.
Okay, because it was my understanding that Trump did, start that, but that it was very vague and not like.
It wasn't vague. It would have charged any hospital or medical facility a certain percentage per month to pay, and Biden removed the financial penalties, so they didn't give a shit.
Right, but as far whenever during Trump era, they followed his policy, but they were kind of being. At this point, the hospitals are being shady, and
hospitals are shady as fuck.
Right, so they were trying to cover up make it seem as what's the word I'm looking for? It's basically still confuse the consumer here, so that they wouldn't be able to actually.
That's why the legislation was very straightforward. The legislation stated that you must produce a cash price and publish a cash price for every procedure offered at your hospital within 9 months. He had the 9 months to write up a price list and produce it. The problem was he was only in office for 7 months, and before that took effect, Biden eliminated, because it was through executive order, because Congress wouldn't let him pass it, so he did through executive order. And Biden didn't rescind the executive order, but he rescinded the financial penalties for it, meaning that all of these hospitals and medical facilities are in violation, but there's no penalty for being in violation.
Gotcha. Because the only thing I ever really saw a while back was that he again started this policy, but the hospitals were using codes to show these prices that they were forced to show. Ended up showing no real benefit, and it just confused the average person looking at prices. And then Biden era then made them be very transparent and say X-ray this much.
Oh, wait, you say Biden did that?
Yes, it's my understanding that, again, Trump started this, but then Biden followed up and actually made it to where they had to dumb it down for the average person to understand.
No. That's the best part, is that all Biden did was remove the financial penalties for it.
So is that Biden, the official Biden statement on...
That was an executive order.
Right. So
40, hold on, wait. I think I remember the number, actually. It was either his 48th or 49th executive order, because the first 32 were with the oil and gas industry, then it was health and human services. It was either his 48th or 49th executive order removed the financial penalty for not adhering to that policy.
Gotcha. Okay, that I wasn't aware of, so I actually will admit that's...
Yeah, so Biden, but Biden said, I fully support people doing it, but he removed the penalty for it. Which, let's be real, if I pull you over for doing 150 and a 45, but I say, hey, here's a ticket, there's no financial penalty, you're going to go back to 145. Like, I mean, you're still going to speed.
Right.
Right, like, there's no penalty. Like, sure, right now there are thousands, if not tens of thousands of medical facilities in violation, and none of them are getting charged for it. But here's the best part. If they had been getting charged for it and none of them had done it, 1% of their total profit would have been paid into the taxpayer fund. And let me just let you know what the average calculation is for that? If they had actually been charged, do you know how much money that would have been?
No.
$1.9 trillion.
Okay. Well, damn.
And that's just the first year. Would have been an average of little under $2 trillion per year. That would have taken care of our national debt. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sorry, wait, let me rephrase. It wouldn't take care of our national debt. It would have taken care of our national deficit for the year. Just the penalties for not publishing your prices would have completely eliminated our national deficit.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine they would have started.
Yeah, I'll bet you they would have published their prices.
Yeah.
How cool would it be if you need an X-ray to just go, where's the cheapest X-ray? And that was the whole idea behind it, was cash prices are available. And here's the thing, there's no hospital in the country that if you call them, they have to give you cash prices for their procedures. But instead of having to call 7 different hospitals to get their cash prices, wouldn't it be nice if you could just look online and say, how much does a fucking X-ray cost?
Right.
Right.
Real quick, I just did a quick Google search again. I was trying to find. I like looking everything up. It says here. I don't even know this website particular, so I have to find something more.
You're all good. Go with the weird.
Effective January 1st, 2022. The Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services increased financial penalties for noncompliance from $300 a day per hospital for all hospitals, regardless of hospital size, in 2021 to a sliding scale between $300 a day to $5,500 a day. So, based on what I'm reading right now, it looks like the financial penalty maybe at some point was stripped, but it looks like it's...
Hold on. They increased the Medicare pricing. So what you had to do was you had to declare Medicare pricing, not cash pricing. So what happened then was they passed that and said, if you do not publicly publish your Medicare pricing or your Medicaid pricing, you get a penalty. But cash pricing is significantly cheaper than Medicare or Medicaid. Like if I need an X-ray Medicare and Medicaid's probably going to pay $4,000 to $5,000 for an X-ray. But if I get an X-ray, there's clinics I can go to that'll charge $400.
Gotcha.
But that's the problem is they tried to get around it by saying you have to publish your Medicare pricing, which is still 10,000% what it should be. What Trump said was, what does it cost to get a fucking X-ray? Put it on your website. And everybody gets to see it. And you know what that would have done? That would have created a whole new industry of companies that aggregate these sites. So you would have been able to go to an app and say, where can I get the cheapest X-ray? And there would have been a whole new industry of people just aggregating these sites. It's like the airline industry. You don't go to American Airlines to book a flight. You go to Priceline. You go to Expedia, right?
Yeah, just Google and find whatever's the best deal.
Is you would have went to rx.com and found the cheapest X-ray and got an X-ray. But because Biden took away the penalties, nobody gave a shit because it was like, yeah, I'm in violation, but you're not charging me anything. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's be real, rules without penalties, are they really rules? Like, I mean, imagine if they said, hey, look, DUIs, bad. But if we pull you over, we're going to kiss you on the forehead and hope you make it home well. Is anybody stopping drinking and driving?
No.
Exactly. So if you remove the penalties, you've removed the law.
Right. Again, kind of going back to the. I do agree with that. That is potentially a bad thing. However, from my point of view, the one thing that Biden did push for is for like actual transparency. Obviously, the enforcement factor is kind of out of it now. But now that it's, I would imagine that since they are technically required to be transparent, and we are at a point where, let's say, obviously, I don't know if it is a thing now or maybe in the future, but again, just literally go to a website or go to Google or something, where can I get the cheapest X-ray? Now, at this point, the hospitals would be incentivized to be, honest about their pricing. That way they could.
Why are they incentivized to be honest?
To earn business and compete.
Yeah, if Trump's policies were enforced.
Right, but that's kind of how every other type of market works. They compete with each other with prices. So if they're
but again, if you don't have to declare your prices, you don't have to be honest.
Right, but like let's say just me and you, for example, or let's go back to the airline example where I'll go on Google. None of them are, let's say, required. I see 3 airlines that are doing this price, and this price, and then there's this other airline that's like, oh no, we're not telling you until you come in and blah blah blah.
Yeah, but hold on. Here's the thing. The actual comparison, because the way Biden did it, would have been like Priceline would, instead of going to Priceline and getting the best price, the way Biden removed the consequences would be you go to Priceline and Priceline would go, I promise you we're giving you the best price. You would never see a price. Like, imagine if we bought airline tickets the same way we buy healthcare, right? You would go to Priceline and they would say, we're going to give you the best price. Now, there's no consequences to them being full of shit. They just said they're going to give you the best price. And then you buy the ticket, you never see the price, and then after you fly, they send you a bill.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You fucking fly anywhere?
Well, no, but assuming there's at least a few companies out there that are participating.
No, it's not a matter of that. Is none of them have to show you a price, and they can make up the price afterwards. They can go like here's the danger in that, because the way the medical industry works is they don't know the price, because what they do is they have to look at their losses at the end of the month, and they have to look at how much they have to overcharge insurance companies. So imagine American Airlines goes, hey, you had to fly from Arkansas to Georgia, right? And they go, and it would normally in their head have been $300, but you bought the ticket and they said, we're going to give you the best price. But at the end of the month, they were down $1,000, and they were like, cool, it's a $1,300 flight after you flew. Would you ever fucking fly anywhere?
No.
No, but that's the way the medical industry works. They go, hey, fly, and when you land, we'll tell you how much you owe us. Like, that's fucking insane. Imagine any other industry where you get the service and then get told the price.
Right. No. That is a very fair.
But that's the medical industry. You literally get the service and then get told the price.
Back to the, assuming that at least some hospitals are participating in good faith. I'll give a very anecdotal experience. When I was looking for a brand new car, I was literally priced up. I was calling up and hey, how much? A lot of them gave me their offer. There was one dealership in specific that said, "Oh, come in and then I'll tell you."
Yeah. And did you go there?
No.
Did you go there?
No.
No, but that's how all hospitals work. Like, imagine you met a girl and she's like, pay for everything and then I'll tell you whether or not I like you.
I get, yeah.
But let's be real, that's normal relationships. That doesn't work that way. Like, let's be real. You take a girl out for a date, she doesn't tell you whether or not she likes you until after you pay. But, so there you go. Would you rather every industry act like a relationship? Like, where you got to pay for dinner to see if she likes you?
No, I'm good.
No, but that's the way the medical industry works. You literally go, I'm so fucked up, and they go, we'll take care of you. We'll bill you later. And then they send you the bill, and you're like, what the fuck? And you're like, well, and they're like, well, we would have told you how much it costs, but Biden said we didn't have to.
Yeah, that's maybe I'm wrong, and I'm ready to change the subject. But it's my understanding that they do actively investigate case by case once it gets reported.
Yeah, but there's no law against overcharging you for medical care.
Okay. Typically, I know you can, like, I've heard of this from my mom. Like, if she's been to the hospital a couple of times, you can usually ask for an itemized receipt. They're able to bring down.
Oh, no, you've seen too many TikToks telling you get to do that. You don't.
No, my mom literally did it though.
No, you can do it. Yes, but here's the thing. What I shouldn't have to do is fight for 2 months and not overpay for shit that nobody paid for.
And that's fair. I agree. So I guess for this topic, I will admit I wasn't aware that Biden had removed the punishment for it. So that's something
That's a big part. Oh, shit. My moderator kicked you. I'm sorry. They're bringing up other people. I'm sorry. But the reality is you shouldn't have to do something before you know how much it costs. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, what's up, man?
So are you voting for Harris, or do you think Walz is not stolen valor?
So, I'm a Trump supporter. Do I think there could be another candidate somewhere? Yeah, maybe. Trump's an asshole. We get it. But I'm here to explain the Kamala price gouging bullshit that she says. She's going to take action against price gouging in grocery stores. I've worked...
We have to let it go. Because I want opposing views. I have to pee, but I'll be back for 2 more opposing views, and that's it.
But that was the last one. Now I have to retype the comment out. All right, if you're in the request, let us know in the comments. If you're in the request. Sometimes they don't let me pin certain comments. All right, they let me pin it. Heidi, are you voting blue? Okay.
Sorry, I had to pee. I have no qualms about admitting I had to pee. Sorry about that. So, wait, 2 people left. What time is it?
123.
It's 1:23. I got 2 people left. 2 people, and then I got to go to bed. I got work in the morning.
All right, Stephanie. Let's see if she requested.
I did not wash my hands. Still filthy.
Heather, you have to request.
Oh, God, I just did that on camera. I'm sorry.
I didn't see you because my little screen was up, so you're good with me.
Perfect. So, Stephanie, are you voting for Kamala, or do you think Walz isn't stolen valor?
I am voting for Kamala.
Cool. So what's your number one reason for voting for Kamala?
Predominantly because I lived through the civil rights and the women's right movement, and I want to ensure that future generations have the choice to kill their babies if they want to.
No,
And now that
wait,
we've
wait,
made
hold on, wait,
that
70,
one,
70, please.
now that we've
No, wait, 70, 70, hold on. Please say unalive, just for
I
TikTok.
apologize.
Just for
You're
TikTok.
right. I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. I know better than that. But that's not the point I want to. I've been listening to you for like an hour and a half. Okay.
Thank you for joining. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I haven't followed you yet because I find you a little offensive, but I think I'm going to follow you right now because of that.
I want you to know
Yeah.
I'm far more than a little offensive. I do my best to be as
Probably
as
so
possible.
am I.
So I will tell
What's
you,
your
if you
name?
follow my main account, which is the older millennial .1, older millennial
Oh,
.1,
you're
I
older
am super
millennial.
offensive.
Oh gosh, you have gone rampant on Facebook or on Twitter or TikTok lately. Okay, well then you're the perfect person I want to talk to. First of all, and I know I'm going back like an hour and a half.
You're fine.
Okay, cool. But you said that the post office is not mandated by the federal government. It is not something that's in the Constitution.
No. What I said was that it's not a right.
Yeah, actually it is a right. It is literally in the Constitution. The federal government is required to have a post office and roads. It's literally in the Constitution. It is literally, I mean, I'm all for
Hold on, wait. What's mandated by the Constitution?
Well, what's
It's mandated by the
what
Constitution.
part of mandating are you talking about? Are you,
No. So what you're
You're
talking
not
about? So what you're talking about from the Constitution is they are mandated to have a postal service that has centralized locations in each state. That is
And
mandated by the
on
Constitution.
roads?
Now, what they are not mandated to do is deliver you mail. What is required is that if you send mail that is required to be delivered to your home state, it's not mandated to be delivered to your home. So if we were to follow the Constitution when it comes to the postal office, that means that every single bit of mail you get is required by the Constitution to be delivered to the capital city of your state. How far are you from your capital?
About an hour.
Cool. So for any mail, your daily mail, according to the Constitution, you would have to drive an hour to get your daily mail.
Not to interrupt you because gosh knows I want to hear what you have to say.
Good.
Literally what it says in the Constitution, is to establish post office and post roads. It says nothing about state capitals. It says nothing about having to travel. It says post offices and post roads,
Yes.
which infers post offices where the government wants them. And that can be in your individual city if they want them.
It
Okay?
could be.
So
It could
please
be.
don't give me the rhetoric about
Hold
they can leave it in their capital because that's not per the Constitution. Okay? And I will bring it up.
Per the Constitution, the government, and we know this, like, let's be real. Per the Constitution, the government will always do the minimum required by the
I'm
Constitution.
reading the Constitution. I don't care what we think the government will do.
No,
I'm
hold on,
literally
wait,
reading
wait,
the
hold on.
Constitution.
Hold on, wait,
It is
hold
literally
on.
in front of me.
Hold on, wait, Stephanie, hold on. Is there any constitutionally given right where the government has gone beyond, like intentionally for the benefit of the American people, gone beyond their constitutional mandate?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about post offices and post roads.
I know what you're saying.
You don't get to
You're missing my point, Stephanie.
Okay, you don't get to switch it up Literally, I'm reading from the Constitution.
Stephanie,
You don't get to
Stephanie,
look it
I
up where the
agree
government-
with you. Stephanie, hold on, wait. Stephanie, I agree with you.
They got mad.
But you have to understand
They were like,
that the Constitution says you must have post offices and post roads. So that means if I was the government, and the government always does the minimum, they always do the minimum that is required of them. So if you say I have to have post offices and post roads